So what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We got this great and wonderful couple here on the screen, brother Butch and sister Shari, and they are instrumental in the people who spearheaded the Ohio Black Expo. You know, the one we went to as of recent. I met a lot of y'all, and it'd be good to definitely break bread with them today and let them kind of introduce themselves because until I had made a live stream and then about, hey, a lot of times y'all not, reaching out, like talking about what Brother Butch is one of the ones that reached out. So thank y'all for coming on the show today.
Appreciate you.
Yeah,
Appreciate you.
happy to be here.
All right. So tell people just a little bit about, yourself, Brother Butch, and then, Sister Sherry can go after that.
Well, once again, I'm Brother Butch. This is my queen right here. This is my queen, Sister Sherry, CEO and COO, respectively, of Ohio Black Expo. We're part of the leadership team, and we've been honored to lead this organization. The founder, we want to start out mentioning the founder of this organization is a lady by the name of Rhonda D. Robinson, and she's out of Lincoln Heights, Ohio, which is that suburb of Cincinnati many people heard about when it went viral from the all-Black community that ran out the neo-Nazis. So she originates from Cincinnati, Lincoln Heights, and she started the Ohio Black Expo decades ago. So it started, in the 1980s and started out as the Columbus Black Expo and expanded to the Ohio Black Expo into the 90s.
Yeah, and she was inspired as a young woman to do that on the heels of the Columbus Black Convention. So a lot of people know about the Black Convention that took place in Indiana. There was also a Black convention here in Columbus, and they asked her as a young student from Ohio State to organize the vendors. She got about 80 vendors in 2 to 3 weeks, coordinated them to come. And the people were so happy to see the businesses they didn't know about. And the businesses were so happy to find new customers that she said this needs to continue. So really her inspiration for this was seeing the need to support Black businesses back in 1980 when she started it. And so
it should be mentioned that into the 90s, it expanded to the point where she had like 300 vendors.
Yeah.
About 30,000 attendees. Mm-hmm. And so it was a huge event. And then there was a little, what do you call it?
I call it a hiatus. The last one in here in Columbus before we brought it back in 2022 was in 1991.
Oh, wow.
So at that one, they had Earl Graves from Black Enterprise was a keynote speaker. They had a delegation come in from Africa.
From Ghana. So she had that connection with Ghana back then. And so, when you were there, you had a chance to meet some brothers and sisters from Ghana. So we want to, continue the same things that she started. She really provided a strong foundation.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's beautiful that you all brought it back. And just to give my, what my assessment, I always tell people this, I try to be upfront and I try to be real with everybody, right?
That's how we want it.
Please do.
And one thing I noticed, it was professionally done. I looked around people where they needed to be. I didn't see nothing that was, out of place. When you say Black excellence, that's what I saw. Y'all had the nice, bathroom trailers, which was nice. The food was good. Everybody was straight. Security was good. No, because when I first go anywhere, I'm more so just taking it in before I say anything.
Right.
I'm just kind of like a sponge, right?
Right.
I'm
That's
looking at this, looking at that, looking at this, looking at that.
Right.
Like I said, at least from when I was there, I didn't see nothing. Everybody was good. I didn't hear nothing from nobody later or nothing. People came out, that from different cities to even, come visit with us. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, this is cool. I said, this is cool. I really like what y'all put together. I know y'all put a lot into it. I've seen, local politicians involved, definitely seen the police department involved. And I even talked to one of the brothers that was on the police force that watched the show. That was the interesting part. Color police officers who actually watched the show. And so it was just a good time. I've seen everybody having a good time. And right now we're definitely promoting our rest. We're promoting Black people get outside and touch grass, right? Because we so much on these digital devices, which they're great, but y'all have a great venue to touch grass. So I come back home. I told my family, hey, y'all need to go see that. I said that was pretty good. I said I really like that. You know, especially the food with the kids. My kids love the food and candies and all that sort of thing. So
I mean,
y'all did a good event. I was impressed.
We pride ourselves in making sure it's like a cross representation of our community. And so as you saw, you know, we had the children, you know, represented. We had activities for the families. We had everything going all the way up to the elders. So, you know, we pride ourselves in being representative of, you know, the entire community and making sure, you know, our people feel welcome. And so, you know, some people, since it's in Columbus, they kind of frame it as a Columbus event, but it is a statewide event that reaches worldwide, actually. But you know, you had the brothers and sisters coming down from Cincinnati, Cleveland, Dayton, Toledo, Akron, all those places. And then I'm sure, you know, you met some brothers and sisters from Chicago and Detroit and elsewhere. So so it was good. We do put a lot of time and energy into it, but it's for the people.
For the people. For the people. We do it for the love. We really, really do. And, you know, from a technical standpoint, we do have people coming from at least 33 states. And if you look at the map, it's basically everywhere that we have a strong presence, that Black people have a strong presence here in the United States. But then we do also have people that do come internationally as well. And so we're really happy that just in these last 4 years, since the pandemic, it's becoming a staple for a lot of people. You know, some of that, the international piece came from people that are here visiting their family, and they just happen to see, oh, this thing is going on, let me check it out. And now they're telling us, well, this is when I come visit my family now, because Memorial I want to be able to come to your event. That means a lot. You know, and it's, for us, it's about, you know, uniting our people, obviously the economic development piece of it, of supporting the Black businesses, but also that feeling of unity, continuing to dispel the myth that thousands of Black people can't gather without drama. It's not true. You know, we're not innately drama-filled people. That's a myth. And so we love dispelling that myth. We love bringing the generations together, you know, in that same space. And just when you get inside of our gates, everybody feeling comfortable to just be as Black as they want to be. And that's what we want, you know.
Right. And you had mentioned the security earlier. You know, we got the Nation of Islam Brothers, the FOI represented. And then we had a Black-owned security firm. And then we also had Black officers with the CPD. So all of that, and it being gated, all of that is intentional, you know, and it's worked. For the last 4 years, we've had zero, like absolutely nothing, zero incidents throughout our entire festival. So we pride ourselves with that.
Yeah, and I, you know, just what I know about team building in itself, like how did y'all build y'all team to pull this off? Because like I said, this is not like a 3-person team to do
not
this,
at all.
Right? It took a lot of putting people in the right place and the right where they should be, and them being responsible enough to do their task to pull this off. So, you know, how did it go with the team building? Because, you know, sometimes they say, well, we can't work together. That's a lie. Because I have a team full of Black folks and Africans and Caribbeans, and we all work together very well.
Right.
It's pretty organic, actually. You know, we started with relationships because this mission is so important to us. Our mission, by the way, of our organization is to improve quality of life for Black folks here in Ohio. So, you know, that mission is so important to us. We kind of kept the people that we brought in our inner circle. So we started, we started with our inner circle and just kind of moved out to fill the different roles that need to be filled. And quite a few, really the majority of the people you see on the ground, they're volunteers. And so those are people that are just as dedicated to our community as we are. And so, you know, a lot of people see the big event that we have, and even people here locally still don't realize this is a nonprofit organization. It's not just an event. we are on a mission, and we take improving quality of life very seriously, and we do that in a number of ways. So through the vendors that you support, Black businesses are going to hire us more than any other group, right? And so
Right.
the way to tackle poverty, the way to tackle our fight towards generational wealth and a wealth gap, all of that is related to supporting our businesses and keeping that top of mind.
We have to save ourselves.
We have to save ourselves.
So the way
we can save ourselves,
and we can do it. We can do it. So
we want to remind people of that. And so the vendors, the contractors, wherever we can, as much as we can, everything that is supplying the infrastructure of not only our organization, but also that festival comes from Black businesses.
So for, at the empowerment stage where you guys were at, we had a husband-wife team who ran that sound sound stage system. Mm-hmm. They were in control of that. When you have festivals like that, you have large amounts of trash and recyclables. So we have dumpsters from a Black-owned company.
Yeah.
Okay. I already mentioned the security. Mm-hmm. So you can go down the line. Even the shirts, the shirts we're wearing and all that. It's all from Black-owned businesses. Because after all, it's the Ohio Black Expo. So we have to.
And y'all had the Black-owned water companies. Y'all had the Black-owned toilet paper. Y'all did that.
I'm so glad, and that was intentional too. We really wanted to give a platform for those brothers who have the Leafy. It's called Leafy toilet paper. It's based right here in Columbus, Ohio, but they are the largest, Black-owned toilet paper company in the nation, and they're continuing to grow. Mm-hmm. And it's just important for us to support high quality Black-owned businesses.
Yeah. They're the largest for the type of toilet paper they do. So it's all natural toilet paper. Mm. But, also the water. I don't know if you saw the drip alkaline water. It's kind of
I had it. I drunk it.
Yeah. So drip, even the water, we have to get lots of water. It's warm that time of year. It wasn't warm this year, but normally it's hot, this time of year. So we have to keep everybody hydrated. So we order, a huge amount of water to keep our team and backstage and all the youth, that march in the parade.
You got, I think now, Brother Phil, I think you and Demetria and Vicky and Kellen, I think y'all missed that parade, man. Were y'all?
I actually did miss that parade. Man. I didn't see that, but hopefully next time I could check it out.
Yeah.
No, but we had over 500 youth participating.
Oh, wow.
Representing various schools, community organizations, dance teams. So that's how drum lines and so that's how we kick off the festival every year, and it's been very positive, filled with a lot of good energy.
And we follow that up with our HBCU college fair. So that's very intentional, the timing of it. We have that captive audience of over 500 youth, and then all of the other youth that come to watch them perform. And so immediately after the parade, they march straight up the hill to the HBCU college fair.
So I don't know if you saw that, but we had about 20 different representatives from various HBCUs, and these were student representatives. Mm-hmm. And so it was an opportunity current students, for the young people in our community to talk to people that they can really, really relate to. So it's a very positive vibe. I want to send a shout out to my HBCU, Central State University, right here in Ohio. I'm a proud graduate. But it's important. It's important to expose our youth and just the whole community to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, I've learned, part of, my strategy have been once it clicked in me that we are the culture years ago. And I'm like, you know what? We don't have to pivot outside our culture for nothing.
Absolutely.
We really don't.
For nothing.
Everybody wants to come and enjoy our culture. Right. Mm-hmm. And I think for years we used to worry about, how do we get other people? But just being ourselves, get other people. Now, speaking about other people, I was there. And I say, let me start looking around. Now I'm gonna look around.
Okay.
And I said, because we can't have an event without certain guests.
And what was you saying?
I looked up and I said, there they go monitoring and here. Not to say they did anything wrong. They didn't. They did. But I'm like, we can't have it can say
And,
Blackity Black Expo, and they'll be right in the middle of it.
Yep.
hey, and we unapologetically target, our people.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't, we're not going to
turn anybody
exclude.
away.
No. It's not about
As long as they
discrimination.
come,
No.
as long
We
as
don't
they
want
come with the right
discrimination.
energy.
Listen, I tell people on my platform, everybody's welcome to watch.
Exactly.
Everybody's welcome to watch. And I know everybody's welcome at the expo and everything, but I always like to look at that and just like say from my point of view, because sometimes the propaganda that's out there about us as black people, oh, we're ghetto, oh,
right.
look at the Carnival Cruise, look at them, this and the thing. I'm like, it's not every black person
good.
out there.
It's good for them to be exposed to black excellence for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to go there, they have been exposed to black folks ever since we got around them. So I don't think they couldn't be exposed. Even during Jim Crow segregation, when we were supposed to be separated from each other, if you know the history, they still went over there where we at the juke joint and everything else. So like the movie Sinners, for instance, they're trying to get in. I mean, they did go to the juke joints. Even they went, they went back in the daytime. So, but we are the culture, and it's kind of hard to stay away from us. I just figured that part out. And if you look at a lot of how people enjoyed themselves at the Black Expo, and then our rest time, right? People just intoxicated by what we do, and you have put an event out that people can actually, like they say, touch grass. And I like that because we need more events where black people can get together, be happy, safe. And I'm glad that y'all have created a lane. And I know it was not easy to do, especially how y'all put this together, how y'all got some of these politicians involved and different things. I know it's not easy. Trust me, I know it's not easy. So it's definitely a testament to the both of you. I know you probably had some sleepless nights with some of this stuff. That I probably did. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
So that much, huh?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you this, Brother Phil. It is a blessing that we are both so passionate about this work, because if we weren't, it would be a problem. If one of us was as dedicated and the other one wasn't, it would be problems. But we're blessed to work together, and we work well together. And so, we also enjoy being an example. People say that to us all the time here in Ohio, just that they see us as an example of a Black couple that, works together to build. And we want to be that example. We want to remind our young people, don't have this, unfortunately, a lot of our young ladies are like, I don't need no man, It's true that we can, as Black women, we're strong. We can, because we have had to, carry the load on our own. But I don't believe that's how we're designed. I believe that it's great to have a partner and be able to build.
When we come together, it's power. It's power. It's
Mm-hmm.
power. But so now we want to say that we truly appreciated having you guys present. It was a privilege to meet Demetria and Vicky and yourself, and Brother Kellen. From the first time I talked to him, he seemed like a cousin from back in the day. So we definitely want to welcome you guys back. Definitely welcome you back. Again, our event is every Memorial Day weekend. And so
I told Kellen had mentioned that, and I say, hey man, shoot, let's make it happen, because I know, because I always tell people 2026, my calendar is clear until it's filled up with everything.
Right.
And I tell that to everybody. My calendar is open.
Mark it down. Mark it down. And we want to also, we have connections on the continent. So that's one thing that I appreciate about your channel, and that you have correspondence from all around. Jamaican roots for my wife, but Nigeria in particular, we got a lot of family.
Well, we have cousins, and my uncle is in Abuja. He moved from Africa to from Jamaica to Africa in the 50s, and so he has children all over. And then those children have children, and those children have. So I have like 4 generations of family in Nigeria right now, in Abuja, Lagos, Lekki, Warri, Port Harcourt, just all over.
And then we've been to Ghana, and I got a cousin in South Africa who recently he's going back and forth from Chicago, but he loves it. He loves it over there. And so, my son's godfather is from Namibia.
Okay.
Went to Central State with him. So we definitely want to travel over there to see him. But yeah.
We definitely want to continue to dispel the myth, the many myths that there are about the continent, because our people, so many of them are scared to go there. They're like, oh, it's unsafe. Man, I feel safer there, way safer there than I do here. I can go out and walk around at night there, where I don't necessarily want to do that, by myself in my city. So, we have to get people to go and just have their minds opened up about who we are as a people.
And that's one of the things about the expo. We want to connect our people from throughout the diaspora. So, we had, I think on the day you came, we had the Caribbean
curators.
Yeah. So we have representation from everywhere.
Well, I ended up meeting a brother with the Ghana tourism.
Yes.
That brother.
Yeah.
They came. But when you mentioned about bringing people, that's what kind of got us, doing bringing our audience to the African continent. Is once I went in 2018, I went just me, Kellen, and Sharif at the time, and we went to Ethiopia, and I'm like, man, you know what? This is not what I thought it was. What they told me it was,
Right.
and so we end up, I think, the following year, bringing the first group to Kenya, the following year. And then I think the next trip we had after that was South Africa.
Okay.
And and then of course we did another one to South Africa, and I think we did another one that I think did twice to Kenya, I think twice to South Africa, and then I know they did one to Ghana, and then I'll be going on this one to Ghana actually in November. So like even our team, we got Ghana, Nigeria, we got about 3 journalists and 3 graphic designers out of Nigeria itself. So we got a lot of people in Nigeria, and then of course South Africa. Then we got Kenya, and then of course one girl, she's Ethiopian as well. So that's what we have like in the African continent.
Yeah, I love her commentary.
Yes,
I love that.
absolutely.
Yeah, but all the correspondence.
We have the highest. Oh no, not Ethiopian, Somali. Sorry, we have we battle between
Columbus.
Yeah, Columbus, between Columbus and Minneapolis, bounces back and forth with the highest Somali population in the nation.
I
met a Somali brother at the event. Had a little conversation with him. Interesting conversation, but I met him at the event.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
but overall, 1.7 million Black people in the state of Ohio, and then I think it's 4.5 million when you look at the surrounding states: Michigan, Indiana, Pennsylvania.
So you say the whole state of Ohio has 1.7 million Black people?
1.7. 1.7.
Wow.
Yeah, we're not Texas, brother. We're not Texas.
Yeah, no, I didn't know those numbers. I just didn't know those numbers.
Yeah.
I think we have 7.2 million.
11 million is the total state population. Yeah. 11 million is the total state. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
but the surrounding states, Indiana, Kentucky, Illinois, and Michigan, you add those states, it's another 4 million.
Yeah, the good thing about y'all area, driving across them states is like that.
That's not far.
Versus like driving here in Houston.
Everything's a few hours away.
You drive 1 hour, you're still in Houston.
Yeah.
Right.
You're right.
You're out of Houston.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're glad you were able to come. We do have those celebrity elements, and it's not just about all of that for us. That's a draw for us, and an opportunity for just people to enjoy great music, great performances. But really, that's our way to help get people plugged
the
in
food and the entertainment, but ultimately the focus is to bring our people together to network and unify and build.
Yeah.
So, you know, we had Common this year and Pete Rock and Dave Chappelle. He did the surprise. That was the surprise visit. That wasn't planned. That wasn't planned, even though we had reached out to him in previous years, because he's right down the road.
He's about 45 minutes from
he's not
us.
far. He's not far from us.
Okay.
But, so it was cool for him to come out. And on Sunday, it was just a good interaction. One of the highlights was seeing him
walk through the crowd,
you know, meet all the people and interact. Him and Dr. Umar, they had a moment where they were, you know, just seemed, it was a positive vibe. Talib Kweli also. And it just proved a point, you know, we can have different perspectives, we can have different views, but at the end of the day, we need to be on code and come together. We got to learn how to put aside some of those differences and show love and keep building together.
Yeah.
So
they went out and also both Dave Chappelle and Dr. Umar at different points, they went out and talked to all the vendors, which was really great. You know, those vendors, they kind of stuck in their booth or in their food truck. They can't really get out and enjoy everything.
You guys had a chance to do that too, though. I know you guys talked.
I was talking to a lot. I was just talking to a whole lot of people. I was walking around and Kelly like, where he went, I just took off walking, and I met a whole lot of people just walking around.
That's what we want. We don't want people to just stay in one little area.
Nah, I don't do that. I just like, once I get the feel of the area, I got to get the feel first, like what everybody got going on, and then once of that, I just took off, you know, and people just run into me. Phil, what? They didn't tell me you was coming. I'm like, surprise.
That's right. That's right. Did you go down to the Family Zone by any chance? The Family Zone down in the grass area. Were you down there?
In the grass? I took off all the way down to the end almost by the gate.
Okay, yeah. There's two gates.
On the one end, I seen all the vendors. Now in the grass area, I didn't go to that. But I went all the way down to the end. I was talking to everybody that wanted to talk to me.
You missed some spots, so you're going to have to come back. I wanted to introduce you to the brother from Niger. He was selling beverages. I don't know if you had a chance to meet him. He's from Niger.
Like I said, man, my calendar's open for 2026. You know, that goes to anybody that's looking to holler, and I'm open. You know, domestic or international, I'm open.
Fantastic. But hey, we invite, you know, the audience to go to OhioBlackExpo.com. There you'll find a lot of information related to our organization, our event, and the things we're doing. And you know, we're always looking for support. Where our social media handle is Black Excellence on all platforms. And we appreciate, you know, being able to connect with you. I've watched you for a number of years. We've watched you for a number of years and seen you you grow. And it's an example of what we can do when we continue to support each other. Because we've seen you, you know, grow and elevate and expand. And we know that's not by accident. We know that you have a lot of supporters out there. So,
and we, you know, speaking of support, we have other initiatives. Obviously, this annual event, that's our flagship event, right? But we have a project in West Central Ohio to restore an African cemetery there. And, you know, that's one piece of the entire story. But
well, actually, you met the sister. She was on stage with you. And she talked about, I don't know if you remember, but her family had 3,200 acres of land in West Central Ohio.
Oh, yes, I do remember her. Yes, yes.
So that's all related. So we're actually restoring the cemetery of her descendants, which is in my hometown, actually, of Piqua, Ohio, right outside of Dayton. So
it's kind of the tip of that overall project is restoring the cemetery and just restoring the dignity. You know, there's hundreds of people buried there, and it was vandalized and pillaged, and you know, but when they walked. Mostly walked the journey from Virginia to Ohio and encountered obviously a lot of violence and pushback along the way because it was 1846.
Mm-hmm.
So her family has literally been fighting to reclaim this land, some of the most fertile land in Ohio, for decades. And it actually went all the way. It's a fascinating story. Went all the way to the Supreme Court in the early 1900s, and her family still continues to fight. But today we actually hired. What's the name of the landscape architect company?
Oh,
they're based out of Texas.
Is it Terracon?
No.
Design Jones.
Design Jones. So we have a architecture company, Black-owned architecture company that's going to help us renovate the whole cemetery. They actually did the Tamir Rice Memorial up in Cleveland, and they go around the nation doing different projects. But they're going to help us. They're out of Texas, out of Dallas, and shout out to their names.
Dr. Allen. They're both Dr. Allen.
Yeah.
Allen's.
Yeah.
So
with Design Jones.
So that's one initiative. Another initiative here in Ohio is less than 1% of our educators are Black males.
Oh,
and
wow.
about 4% are Black females. So we have a real issue, and I know this is a national problem, but obviously we're focusing on Ohio and changing that. We have to really get that together because our young people need to see themselves as they're learning. They need to have that connection. And so that's another initiative that we have. We focus on youth development, youth empowerment. There's a lot, but we do need support. We need support, obviously, with everything that goes on politically. We're not there. Nonprofits are kind of
unscathed.
Yeah.
And but speaking of the education piece, we're looking to create an online curriculum platform.
That's another platform.
We have to take control of our own education. Again, we understand that we cannot depend upon anybody but ourselves. We kind of operate from the framework that we don't have allies. All right.
No, we don't. We don't.
It's
Dr.
us.
John Henry Clark said we have no friends, and that is
and that's real. And that's real.
That's true.
So this platform is exciting because obviously, there's been a huge fight for years here. There's actually a documentary about it from the 1970s here in Central Ohio of students at Ohio State trying to get Black students at one of the high schools, and then with the help of Ohio State trying to get Black studies in the local schools. And it's there, but it's not mandatory. It's not widespread. It's at some schools and not at others. So it's up to us to maintain our history, because there's legislation right now that they've been trying to push through for the last 4 years that not only takes Black studies out of schools, including our HBCUs here in Ohio, but also will prosecute educators who try to teach it. So
that sounds extreme.
It sounds extreme,
in a public school setting.
Absolutely true.
In a public school setting.
In public school setting.
No, in any school setting.
Oh,
so
school, yeah.
So even if it's private.
Well,
I know
that's the legislation that they're trying to pass.
Well, that
might be
it might,
but it's at every level. It's
but what I'm saying is that would be struck down in the courts, in my opinion, because you can't tell a private school what curriculum to teach if they're not taking state funding.
Yeah. It might be just public. But it's the point with it is this platform that we're building, it would be available to anyone online, even globally, but it allows us to be able to maintain our history in a robust way without worrying about trying to make sure that our youth are getting it in school, because they're not getting it. They're not going to get it.
And then also, Phil, we do have an online business directory also. And there's a lot of those out there, but it's important to make sure our people are exposed to the businesses. A lot of times you hear our people saying we don't have this and we don't have that. And so we created a platform. It's called Huku, Huku. And it's a way for people in this area, and hopefully we expect to expand it, throughout the nation and highlight various businesses.
Okay, and so if they go to
OhioBlackExpo.com.
Yeah,
the
they can.
Ohio Black Expo website, they can
Yep,
connect
yep.
with
It's
all of
powered
that.
by it's
Yep.
powered by Ohio Black Expo. Go
Mhm.
to OhioBlackExpo.com and look on the menu. It'll say Huku, which
Mhm.
Hmm.
means here, and click
It's
on it,
it's
and
a
you'll
key
see.
Swahili word. It means here.
Which means basically we have everything that we need here, right here.
Mhm.
It's already
Right,
here.
right.
Yeah. hmm
Okay, okay. And the expo is next year, Memorial Day weekend, once again, 2026.
That's right.
Um,
It's
Yeah.
May 23rd and 24th next year.
all
That's right.
right.
That's right.
It's gonna be even better than 2025.
That's right.
Bring your folks up from down south. Bring your Houston peoples.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
Hey,
wonder, did you
hey.
get to meet Valerie Boyer? I
Yeah,
think you did.
well, the
She's the
sister
sister from
the
Galveston.
sister who was
Yeah,
on
the
stage.
young sister that was up there with me from Galveston.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I told Sister Vicky at the time and said, "Is that your daughter?" I mean, because y'all sound alike. How they express themselves.
Yeah, she
Yes.
had
And
some fire.
and
Yeah,
and
she
so
got
yeah, she
fire.
told me she was from Galveston, and she told me
Yeah.
she actually was watching the show since she was like 12 or some one of
Yeah. She
her
was so
black
excited
Yeah.
teacher.
that y'all were coming.
When we
Yeah, her
reached out
black
to we
teacher
reached out
told
to her
her about our
first.
platform.
Yeah.
You said say that again. I'm sorry.
Her black teacher, there was a brother, told
Hmm.
her about our platform, and that's
Yep.
how they all start watching it in the
Yeah.
class.
Yeah.
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 And
Yeah.
I was like, oh wow, like I was just kind of just surprised
Right.
to hear that. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
You
yeah,
never
the
you
young
never
sister,
know the
she's
impact.
good.
You never know the impact that you're having, brother. You never know. You never know who's watching.
Hmm.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. It's always shocking, right? Especially when you meet people, because I always tell people I'm so much in create mode that I don't
Yeah.
be seeing and hearing anything other than create,
Yeah.
Yeah.
until I get to
Yeah.
an event like yours and I start
hmm
meeting people or different. Maybe I'm at the airport, I start meeting people and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, So it's always an interesting place for me when I meet people too, because I'm always so tunnel vision in here,
Oh
trying to
yeah.
Right.
create
That's
like
real.
what's going on, what's this, what's that. I'm always doing that. So. But it's beautiful what y'all doing, and like I said, God bless y'all for all you're doing for Black people, because we need more of that, and being a couple that people can look up to and say, hey man, that's what I'm talking about right there. I want to be just like that when I grow up, right? So yeah, tell people in case they got some questions or how they can get in contact with you.
Yeah, definitely just go to ohioblackexpo.com or you can connect with us on social media at Black Excellence. And we want to inspire people to just take control. So we run into so many people that are like, oh my gosh, did you see what he did today? Oh my gosh, do you see they doing this and that? The best way to get rid of that panic and realize that you have power is to, if you see something you're not happy about, then you make it happen. The best way to predict your future is to create it. So stop being like, oh no, they did this and oh no. What are you
There's
doing?
a lot of distractions out there. There's a
Yeah,
lot of things out there. We got to focus and prioritize
on building.
ourselves.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's it.
We can love everybody, whatnot, but we got to prioritize ourselves.
Yeah. Every
So
other culture
even
does
every
that,
other
and
culture
it's
does it.
okay.
So when I look, just one thing I want to say, when I look at all these world stories that are going on right now, I think we as a people worldwide, African people, need to be focused on what's happening in Mali,
Burkina
Burkina
Faso.
Faso, and Niger,
Hmm.
because that's huge. What Ibrahim Traore and those partners are trying to do, they're trying to break free. They're trying to, that's about true liberation, true power, controlling resources,
Yeah.
building our nation, our community. That's what it's about. That's what it's about,
Yep.
and that expands throughout the diaspora, that model. And so we all should be supportive of that.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, me personally, I don't know nobody that's not really supporting what the brothers doing. I pray all of them follow that model, but also
Maybe
I pray we
not.
follow that model right here too in America because,
That's right. Not
we
and
have
not
been
for
too dependent on a
yeah.
whole lot of people. Like you mentioned, the education part. It wouldn't be a problem if we would get together and create our own private schools with black educators. Because my daughter goes to a black private school. She's
Yeah.
always
Mhm.
went to a black private schools. One was a
Mhm.
Nation of Islam school, and then now the current school she goes to now. And I
Mhm.
just cannot just all the things that I know just give my baby to
Right.
them when I know they're not going to educate my child
And
right.
that's
So
real.
that's why I say we need to focus more on building. black private schools and having our educators teach what we want to teach at that point, right?
That part.
That's
Shout
been
out to
my
Will.
biggest issue. I am not a fan of the public school system because I know it's an indoctrination system. It's not an education system. And then when you talk about school to prison pipeline, where you think that come from? Their public school to their prison.
That's
So
right.
we can break that cycle by creating our own institutions. So
That's
you're trying to do that online, which is a blessing, and that's great. But I just want to leave with that tidbit. But I definitely thank y'all for taking up time for coming, break bread with us today. And y'all make sure to go to the Ohio Black Expo, website and get all the information that you need. And definitely go to the expo next year. You will really, really enjoy it, especially if you're in the surrounding areas. Or you can come from wherever you want to in the country, but it's very well put together and a lot of good food. Go there hungry. You get
For sure.
good and full.
All right. We appreciate you.